Is a Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group podcast. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It contains no wisdom, very few facts, or life-changing epiphanies, and is only the opinions, hypotheses, and guesses of the podcast host. If anything of value is learned, it is by mere chance alone. Don't blame me if you suddenly think about something or anything in a way you hadn't thought about it before. All right. Welcome, everybody, and good afternoon. Welcome to another Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry. This is number 10, Saturday afternoon cartoons. So I just started I started thinking about this, and and of course it all begins with this ridiculous here lately. And I thought, what's a good thing to do on here, is let's poke some fun. People, I think that's what we need to start doing, really, honestly. Those of us that are objective thinkers and scientifically thinking about this whole thing, take a look at some of the ridiculousness and laugh along with everybody else. And some of it has to do with, and there are parts that are, cartoons, which there's some pretty funny cartoons that people have come up with, but we've all seen the latest ridiculousness, and it's been covered by a lot of different people here lately. The newest offering from Mr. Patterson, Sasquatch Ontario. So I just seen a new post up on Paranormal World Productions there, Brian King Sharp, saying the same thing everybody else is saying, how ridiculous it is. It is really cartoonish. And so I think we need to start pushing on that stuff. We really do. And just point it out as being ridiculous, so that at least we can show people that, we don't fall for that crap either, right? We're not all like that, right? So let's say good afternoon here to Grasshopper. Grasshopper, how you doing? He was the first one in. He seems to be able to do that with some regularity. Thanks for coming, Grasshopper. Gary Johnson, how you doing, Gary? All right. And there she is, the lovely Jen. Hello, Jen. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. We have Cindy Finn. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Good to see you. Mr. Joe Dryden. There he is. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Glad to see you. Oh, wow. Mr. Lee 3PO. How you doing, Mr. Lee? I got the hat. I'm wearing it now. I know you like this hat. Who else we got up in here? Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Finding the Trackway. What's up, Finding the Trackway? What's up, Trackway? Merry Easter, everybody. Easter? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Grasshopper. Oh, looking at the calendar. What are you looking at the calendar for? Oh, because he said Merry Easter. Yeah, I would have been too. I mean, like, wait a minute. Isn't that in April, right? Isn't that already passed? Yeah. Bushcraft family, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And by the way, if anybody hasn't seen, I was on Bushcraft Live last night, and if you haven't got to watch that, there's a link in the description. You can watch that. It was pretty fun. And I got to meet a fellow New Yorker, lives over towards the Adirondacks, which is pretty cool. So good to see you, Bushcraft. You guys make sure you get over there to that channel. Give them a look, give them a subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Angel, how you doing, Angel? Good to see you. Welcome. Excuse me. How else? Who else we got here? Jen Bushcraft. All right, Max Powers, the best name in Bigfoot, man. I'm gonna say that every single time, Max. Yeah, Max Powers, Bigfoot hunter. Yeah, that's right. Love it. I love it. Good to see you, Max. All right, looks like we got everybody so far. So yeah, so I mean, and I'm, you know what, and I'm even going to put the link in the chat, folks, just in case somebody wants to jump up here with me. And you know what the hell, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So in case anybody wants to jump on with me, that's cool. So yeah, so the Mike Patterson, pretty funny. Now I also do have something that I wanted to talk about, and let me find it here, because this is pretty stupid and pretty funny all at the same time. It's too bad that that stuff like this gets posted around, and I brought it up again. I mean, I did post it. I shared this because I made a post on it, and it's pretty stupid. And it is an example of why people think, you know, everything about it is ridiculous. But we're going to go through it because it's really part of Saturday afternoon cartoons. So we're going to present this. Where is it? Is it this one? Yes, it's that one. And so here we go on this article. We have right here, you see these two mouth breathers, and it's from the Paducah Insider. And the Paducah Insider is a satirical newspaper, magazine, news blog, whatever you want to call it. Just like things like The Onion and things like that. They're satirical, right? Totally satire. And then they come up with this thing here. The Paducah Insider, and it says a local woman is the talk of the town after an outrageous claim that she recently made. Sierra Munson, 24, of Paducah, says that she was impregnated by Bigfoot while on a camping trip a few months ago. It's the only logical explanation, says Munson, a longtime employee at Dairy Queen in McCracken County. My husband is sterile, and so we thought we couldn't have kids. Now I'm pregnant, and the only way this could happen is if Sasquatch was the daddy. Sierra's husband is fully supporting his wife, even though her story sounds a bit far-fetched. You think? She was on a camping trip with her girlfriends a while back, says Harold Munson, 53. She's 24, he's 53. They've been married for a long time. That's a little cringeworthy. Of Paducah, she said that Bigfoot snuck into her tent and had his way with her. I believe my wife. We've been married for a long time, and she's never lied to me. Experts in the scientific community have been quick to voice their skepticism. Dr. Albert Furman, and I have no idea if this is a real guy or just made up for the thing. Dr. Albert Furman, a renowned geneticist at the prestigious Mayfield Community College, remarked, from a biological standpoint, the likelihood of interspecies breeding is virtually non-existent. While Bigfoot sightings remain an intriguing mystery, we must rely on factual evidence, not personal anecdotes. Meanwhile, Harold Munson says that, and this is the funniest part, really, to me. Meanwhile, Harold Munson says that he looks forward to confronting the Bigfoot one day soon to give him a piece of his mind. I've got some strong words for that Sasquatch, warns Harold, and he won't like hearing what I have to say, that's for sure. This is a developing story. Now, I don't know if these two mouth breathers are really claiming this, and then this satirical newspaper picked it up and ran with it, or if these are just two people that they said, let's find the most inbred couple looking that we can and just make up this story. I don't know which, but either one, it's just, this is ridiculous, right? And of course, Harold there has to have his shirt off with a beer in his hand. And look at the dumbass picture of Sasquatch they have here. That's pretty ridiculous. That looks like looks exactly like what would probably crawl into her tent. So, that's pretty ridiculous, if you ask me, right there. So how do I? Oh, let's get my big mug off of here. There we go. So, yeah, Jen says overdeveloped, I think. Yeah. When they say this is, is that the response? Yeah, this is a developing story. Yeah, overdeveloped. Yeah, Cindy Finn, LOL. Yeah, right. What's Mr. Lee 3PO? That lady is ginger, though. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, what's the trackway says? Furman sounds like a Bigfoot virtuoso. I love the fact that his last name is Furman. Furman. Grasshopper. Not many choices in the hills. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. Cindy said, don't blame BF. Oh. You guys are too hilarious, man. Mouth breathing? Hey, I do that. Shh, Graz. Oh, Max, you thought I was going to be screening some Looney Tunes? Not, well, this is pretty Looney Tunes, man. This is pretty Looney Tunes. Grasshopper said, where'd Joe get a picture of me? Which one, the guy or the Bigfoot? Oh, hello, Outback Orchard. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Wow. Yeah, that is just like, that's just so damn funny, man. I mean, but the thing is, there's been other things like this, right? I'm having Bigfoot's baby. I mean, that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Trackway. He needs to discover body waxing. How do they know he's supposed to be sterile, so I guess he's not the Bigfoot. Although he's got enough hair on him. Yeah. It's gross. Oh, yeah, that's right, Jen. Inbreed Harry and Hendersons. Yes. Trackway, cut it out, man. Wax on, hair off, wax on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that word, annoying. Yeah. Annoying. We're going to need a bigger candle. Oh, wow. That is hilarious. Grasshopper said, my grandfather, great, I think it means great grandfather married his cousin. Take that as you will. Well, Cindy, I beg to differ. BF has standards. Well, that's not standards, man. Yeah, Outback Orchard. Yeah, sadly, I'm not shocked by this. Yeah, me neither, man. I am certainly not shocked by it. Yeah, because you see this kind of ridiculousness all the time online, and it's incredibly stupid. It's incredibly stupid. So, um, but I gotta admit, man, I'm kind of if they say it's a developing story, I don't know. She really does look like she's actually pregnant by a few months. I could be wrong. So it would be interesting if they came back with something and showed some kind of stupid looking, you know, baby human Bigfoot thing or something or whatever. that would be something, right? So it's a developing story. Uh, yeah. Man, size Chia Pet News at 11. Mr. Lee says, ridiculousness is a fantastic word. Yes, ridiculousness. It's a good show, too. There is a show actually called Ridiculousness. It's on MTV, I believe it is. It's pretty funny sometimes. Yeah. Max Grr. Cindy Finn says, Max, calm down. Calm down, Max. Calm down. It's just funny. But it is ridiculous. And people will see this and go, look at all them stupid Bigfoot people. But the thing is, they won't read the top of the page of this where it says this is satire, right? They actually and like I said, there are actually some people who do make stupid claims like this. I have no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of dumb claims out there, So, yeah. Now, I do have other. There are some cartoons. Now, I do love cartoons, and some people have come out with some good natured, just funny Bigfoot cartoons. And we're gonna look at a few of them here, if I can do this real quick. Oops. Let me see here. Hang on. Present. Share screen. There we go. And let's see if we can pull these up good enough. Here, I'm going to put this up. And there we go. Here we go. I like this one, actually. It's two Bigfoot in the cave with the trophies. I go into town partying once a year on Halloween. I usually win best costume. Pretty funny. That's not too funny, but it's right here. So social distancing, no big deal. I've been doing that for years. Where are some of the funnier? Oh, I like this one too. It's Bigfoot and his wife, Big Mouth. This one's pretty cool. Little subtle. No, Bigfoot's my cousin. Obviously, that is big ass. Now, there's one to the opposite side, too, in here. We'll get to that one. I like this one here. It says, Andrew, quit goofing around and pose for the picture. Yeah, right. What was some of the other ones here? Here it is. Here's the opposite of that one. This guy over here is saying, Bigfoot, for your information, sir, the name's Jerome. I suppose you'd like it if I were to publicly address you by your most prominent physical attribute. And so in the opposite one, the person is big ass. Oh, some of the craziness. This one was good. It says Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call us. We're what happens when you combine wilderness, beer, and rednecks. I guess so, huh? Right? Let's see here. I think hang on a second here, folks. I had there we go. Hey Gary.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
How's it going, man? Yeah, I can hear you.
I just want to know if this thing was working because I've been having so many problems with my laptop and desktop here lately for some reason.
Yeah. No, you sound fine. There was one here that I didn't understand it because it's in a foreign language, so I don't know what it means. So I couldn't really laugh at it. It has something to do with a moose, a Bigfoot, and a foosball table. I don't know what that's all about. Let's see. What was this one? This one says that's the trouble ordering boots by mail. You always get the wrong size. So there you go, folks. I guess Bigfoot orders boots by mail. I've never seen a Bigfoot in boots. We know fairies wear boots. That's what Ozzy says. Where's a couple? Oh, I love this one. This one says, don't forget, put it on the grainy setting. Yeah, because we always know there's just nothing but blurry pictures. What the hell? Oh, this is the one. Oh, nice timepiece. Thanks. It's a Squatch. Yeah, that's mildly amusing. I think I probably heard it too many times. And then, of course, we have the one I have in the intro. Holy crap, is that a Bigfoot? Holy crap, is that a payphone? And I thought, well, that Bigfoot must be calling Igor Burtsev. That must be what he's doing. Let's see. Is this the one I thought it was? Oh, yeah, this one says, oh, my God, it's Bigfoot. And Bigfoot says, oh, my God, it's Tiny Wiener. This guy says, see anything cool lately? Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I'm locked in on, so you gotta be quiet. Well,
yeah, let's see here. We got some other funny ones on here. Oh, this one's pretty cool. There's a couple of Bigfoots and aliens. It says, darn, me without my camera.
yeah, I've seen a lot of them.
Oh. Let's see. I forgot. And of course, then there's this one that everybody, of course, loves. Make Believe Anonymous. Bigfoot introducing himself. I think I'm real. Says, hi, Bigfoot. That's apparently God, the Loch Ness Monster, and Santa Claus. Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. But that's where we're at, folks. And this is another one. They keep coming up with these. Oh, no, that's the same one. Never mind. I thought it was the same cartoon with it. Oh, and I love this one. I love this one. It says, remember when conspiracy theories were fun? Like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot? Pepperidge Farm remembers. There's Homer Simpson as Bigfoot. You guys remember that? Oh, damn. Hey, what's that? Oh, this one's good. I love this one, too. Professor Joe comes up with an ingenious... Professor Joe, I love that. Professor Joe comes up with an ingenious way to finally locate the elusive Bigfoot. Legos.
Now, these are made up by all different people or the same person?
No, these are all different cartoons made up by totally different people. But, yeah, so there you go, man. That's...
Well, that really goes to show just how popular, he is,
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of cartoons and stuff out there. I mean, and there's no... You look, everybody's got a sense of humor. I've got a sense of humor, and, I don't find hoaxers humorous or anything like that, really. Because I'm serious about finding out real answers for this stuff, but I do find the cartoons pretty funny, and that because I mean, come on, really? I mean, yeah, that's how you're gonna do it, folks. Has anybody actually tried going out and throwing Legos around the forest to try to find
I never really get to the bottom of my stuff in either. Because, there's still a lot of answers. I would like to know, yeah.
Well, you know,
So,
someday we'll get them. What else we got? Oh, there was one. Well, where to go? Where to go? I just saw it. Damn, where'd it go? I just saw the one I wanted to put up. Oh, there it is. Remember this dude right here, Waldo? Everybody trying to find Waldo. He says, "Dude, what's your secret?" Well, actually, I think there's more people seeing Bigfoot than there is seeing Waldo. I've never actually looked for Waldo. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that was the other one. Oh, what is this? Oh, I don't get that. And those aren't even Bigfoot, I don't think. You can still pick it up 5-minute rule. I think that was the funniest ones that I found on here. What's this one? Let's see. Finally, I found Bigfoot. Why is the picture all blurry? Because Bigfoot's blurry. Oh, that's what that comedian said. Mitch Hedberg. He was like, I think Bigfoot is blurry. Obviously. Oh, this is a good one. This one's old from back in the day. Big day in the woods. And then there's an alien there, and he says, "Would you like me to take that for you so you can be in it?" What I love is the fact that the dude's standing there taking a picture of his friend about to be killed by Bigfoot. Great friend.
yeah, because ones you're picking out, I seen them ones.
That one's kind of funny. This one here, talking to a rabbit, he says, "Sometimes I feel spotted, but I never really feel seen." What's this one? Darn it, hold on. The picture is blurry again. Let's try it one more time. So yeah, so you can see there's all kinds of yeah, that one's good. The dude's trying to take a flight, I guess. Seriously, this is the best picture you have of yourself? So anyway, I want to know what are some of the best Bigfoot cartoons or memes have you guys ever seen? Because some of these are some of the really good ones that I've seen.
Yeah, the ones that you were pointing out, I seen them. I try to don't scroll every once in a while on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, I have seen a lot of them.
Of course, my dog's got to start barking. Every time I do a show, she decides to start barking. Okay, yeah, that's about it for the Bigfoot memes. But yeah, so guys, I think it's funny. So you guys, let's see what's he say? Oh, I get it. Jen was trying to explain to my poor beleaguered brain there about the sloths. Sloths are slow. 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Oh, thank you, Jen. See, Jen is so smart, man. I just totally went over my head, man. I was like, what? What do you mean 5-minute rule? Right.
Yeah, maybe
it's supposed to be the 5-second rule, right? But sloths are slow, so I get it. Okay.
You don't feel alone.
Bigfoot more. Hey, what's up, David? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Anybody, like I said, Jen's been posting the link in the chat, so anybody wants to jump on and talk about the funny, cartoonish side of Bigfoot, you're more than welcome. I think I think that we should kind of, I mean, everybody knows me, and yes, we know that I can get pretty irritated at some of this shit, right? But I thought about it the other day, and I was like, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. What a waste of time to get irritated, right? You just got to roll with it, right? You kind of got to roll with the thing and just laugh at the ridiculousness of it and point it out when it's ridiculous, and so it's like I'm not even gonna get upset at stuff, anymore, or try not to anyway, because especially like this Paducah Insider, thing with the Bigfoot. I'm having Bigfoot's baby, you know. Um, and I know some of you probably seen the post that I put up on my page. Some of you may not. And at the time when I wrote the post, I was irritated. Because I'm like, dude, people are gonna see this and they're gonna be like, look at those stupid people that believe in Bigfoot. So yeah, so and
Yep, I never have until that day. I thought it was just a made up thing until that final day.
yeah, well, the problem is, I mean, people are going to that are, especially the ones that are outside of the Bigfoot community or phenomenon or whatever you want to call it. They're gonna, all they see is the ridiculousness of it. That's the problem, is they don't get to see the serious people that are trying to actually be objective. Mostly, I mean, because it's just there's too much of it online. So, we might as well roll with it and just laugh at the stupid shit right along with everybody else, and just kind of, be like, well, yeah, we know this is stupid. But here's the actual real side of the phenomenon. Here's the real attempt to figure out what's going on, not this craziness, right? But it's and some of them, like the cartoons, are okay. That's all in good fun, I think. People, just making up cartoons about Bigfoot, and who knows, some of them cartoons might be right on the mark, if Bigfoot is a thinking animal, some of the stuff that they come up in cartoons, you got to be like, I wonder if they are thinking that, right? Like, look at these stupid little careless apes running around here. They're dumb as shit, man.
Well, to me, it's like I think it would be getting the point across, for people who might not believe, but would have to know, hey, maybe there is something out there. That's about how I would see it, really.
Yeah. Well,
probably a lot of it probably is outlandish, a lot of it, but we all read it anyway. We know we're reading it.
Yeah. Well, and there's some pretty funny ass Bigfoot movies too. Most of them. Now, I don't think that there are some that aren't supposed to. I mean, they weren't meant to be funny, but they are funny, right? And so you got to kind of like that. I mean, I've watched just about every Bigfoot movie that I possibly can, and almost all of them are just so totally ridiculous. But they're fun to watch, right? They're fun to watch as long as you have the mindset. Well, yeah, that's not real. Of course, it's not real. It's a movie, right? So,
yeah, because I got 2 CDs that my sister bought me. Where I put them at, I don't know. I've never watched them yet.
But there's a lot of comedians, they'll make fun of the Bigfoot stuff, and and that's okay too, because they're on the outside. They don't realize that there's an actual side of the Bigfoot phenomenon that is serious about it, So they're just seeing most of this comical shit, right? And like I said, I don't blame him. Most of it is comical. If you look at the things like Mike Patterson just put out with the Bigfoot mat, or the very, I don't know if that's supposed to be just some really bad masks from really bad Bigfoot costumes, or if they're really bad masks from a really bad gorilla costume. Either way, we know that it's a mask. That is a mask.
Is that the one
And
that Brent posted, or
huh?
was that the one that Brent posted
Yeah,
or something?
Brent's covered it.
Yes, I see.
I've
Yeah.
covered it. Steve covered it. Um,
Wow.
it's been all over the place that all these other pages and stuff and people that are pushing back against it, going, what the hell? Mike really jumped the shark here, as we say. And of course, you guys know that phrase comes from Happy Days, when Fonzarelli, the Fonz, if you're old enough to remember, he went out to California and he tried jumping some sharks, right? So, and that was like where the series just like really died, right? Because these jumped the shark, and Mike has really jumped the shark here, right? We already knew that most of his stuff was BS anyway, but this is like now jumping the shark, and it's just really ridiculous. So it's no wonder that it's getting a lot of pushback and stuff like that from people online, right? Not his followers, because he's still got like 70.5 thousand subscribers still, right? Which amazes me.
If they
But
know it can be debunked, why are they posting something like that? They must have to know that it's gonna be debunked somehow by
well, I don't
somebody.
know. I can't claim to know what's in his brain or how he thinks or anything like that, because I'm not a mind reader.
Think
But
he's gonna get
you would
away with
think
it? No.
you would think that somebody would know, like, dude.
Like you say, you just got to chuckle about it.
Well, you
Yeah,
do. You have to laugh at it
yeah.
when you see that and be
Yeah,
like,
when they do
"Whoa,
that.
what? What?" And then you have to laugh at some of the people that make the comments, like, "Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Look at that. It's actually whatever Nephasia or Fadia or whatever the name is, right?" And it's
Yeah.
like you're like, "What?" And it's what? And maybe this sounds mean. I don't know if it does or not, but it's really funny to me and amusing that he seems to think that the people that follow him are just completely stupid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that would be the only reason that you would put out something that ridiculous and that funny, um, is because you think that the people following you are just the most gullible, stupid people on the planet. And
Just like
which
Rick Derilo would say, just an intention, horror. Yeah.
it,
That's what
it
Rick
makes me,
Derilo would say.
yeah, it makes me wonder. It's like, why aren't these people that follow me like, Mike? What do you think? I'm an idiot? Well, obviously he does, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have even attempted something like that, right? And you also have the ridiculousness of people like Scott Carpenter, who's with his Nephilim freaking Bigfoots and stuff, and it's like he's got no proof of any of that. But now I can't put him and I can't put Scott and Mike in the same box, because as far as I know, of course I haven't looked recently either, because I don't follow
That's really
I
that's
don't
about
follow
true.
Scott,
I'm traveling.
but
Yeah.
I don't follow Scott, but I haven't seen him try anything quite as stupid as what Mike Patterson has done. I haven't seen him do anything quite as stupid. So, but it's all pretty funny, man. So,
Yeah. Because like I said, when I heard his name, when he said, yeah, I can understand what he was saying. And I don't see a monkey or a gorilla or an ape or anything saying yes in English when he done it. So, you know, what I explained, because why else would show up when I was doing something?
well, that's something that you're gonna have to figure out, Gary. I don't know what to
Oh,
tell you
I
about.
know, I know that there's no doubt about it, I know. But like I said, nobody would really comprehend it. No one. That's all. That's why I keep saying no one will comprehend it.
And you might be right about that. You might be right about that.
To me,
Um,
I think it ruined my life. Anyways, it ruined my friggin' life.
Now there's a funny. I don't know. I have no idea what this means, but it's funny. Trackway says Jen is smart and cool and courageous and doesn't fear Cliff Barrickman. I don't
Uh,
I don't know what that means, but Jen says Trackway is correct. Oh, Mr. Leithrefield. He says, I reckon Sasquatch got a sense of humor. You do hear experiences of Sasquatch laughing at humans. I have not. I haven't heard of any of those, Mr. Lee, but I mean, and I can't, I don't know what Bigfoot is, right? Other than it seems to be like it's, as I say, it seems to be some kind of hominin, some kind of primate. Whether it's very similar to us or not or whatever, I have slightest freaking idea. If they're intelligent, maybe they have. I mean, lots of primates actually they do exhibit a sense of humor. Even gorillas, orangutans.
I'm leaning toward the fallen because what I seen looking down at me. Because why else would they appear?
Um, what? Oh, Trackley says writing the date down again. Yeah, I was right twice in one day. Well, that's good. That's a better average than I got, I guess. Mr. Lee Three says Sasquatch not dumb, that's for certain. Well, I think nah, they're not dumb. I don't imagine they're dumb. Um, they're smart enough to exist out there pretty well. It seems like. Cindy Finn says he is getting what he wanted in the long run. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, if you mean that just for the attention part, yeah, you're probably right, Cindy. If it was just purely for just attention, whether it's negative or positive attention, he's getting what he wanted, right? I see that. I see that. Um, let's see. All right, Trackway, have a good one, man. Have a good one. Be careful out there. Um, gonna be watching your next video that you come out with. Um, let's see what else. Hey, Donald Fuller, he's in the house. What's up, Donald? Welcome. Glad to see you. Just checking it out. Um, so anyway, the cartoonish stuff. This is Saturday morning cartoons. I wish I had more cartoons to actually show you. In fact, I might try. Let's see. What is? Let's see if I type that in and see what happens. Well, that's not really funny. That's not really funny. How about this one? Let's type this in. Let's try that. Well, that didn't give me much of anything. It just gave me a bunch of more images of shit. I didn't want that. Oh, there we go. What is this? Hang on. Um, well, that's. I thought it
Yeah, I
was
see when you.
saying. Ah, here we go. Um,
I see when you use the word hypothesis. What are you meaning by that all the time? I see you use that quite a lot.
What's that, Gary?
I see when you use the word hypothesis. I see that you use that quite a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah,
What are
I
you
do.
meaning by that though?
Um, well, what I mean, well, the meaning of hypothesis is basically, to put it in a nutshell, and make it simple, a
Well,
hypothesis
like if it's real or
is an
not.
idea that you develop. And in scientific terms, a hypothesis is something that um, you form out of for example, you see a big ass footprint in the dirt, right? And it looks human, but it's not quite human. So you can make a hypothesis. You can go, well, this, my hypothesis is that this footprint was made by something not human, even though it looks superficially human. That's a hypothesis. Um, and if you want to go even further now, that you can say that, okay, say there's a such thing as Bigfoot. So what is
Yeah, we
Bigfoot?
both know
Well,
that.
you can listen to a lot of people's descriptions of what they've seen and etc. And you can form a hypothesis. You can say, well, it sounds like the hypothesis that Bigfoot is a bipedal hominin. And you can hypothesize where, like everything I know, and I can't even use the word know, because if you can't show it, you don't know it. As far as, there's a guy named Aaron Ra, who, that's one of his famous sayings, is if you can't show it, you don't know it. So everything I have Bigfoot related is all hypothesis, because I don't know, but I can form a hypothesis off of data, right? That you have. Now you can't call your hypothesis fact unless you have facts that support your hypothesis. Now you need to also be able to disprove your hypothesis in order for it to be a valid hypothesis. So there's no way to disprove your hypothesis. Then you need to throw it out and start with a new hypothesis altogether. But basically, hypothesis, to put it simply, is an educated guess. It's an educated guess only. Now, that's if it's a good hypothesis. There are some hypotheses or hypotheses that you would say probably aren't good educated guesses. They're just a guess, right?
Yeah, because when I was first looking at it, scoping it out, I didn't know what it was, but then I said, gee, that must be a Bigfoot. Then when I get into these other groups, I was explaining it. Some dude came on and said, oh my God, you just seen the devil.
Well, yeah,
right there,
Gary,
he got banned from that group just like that for telling me that.
yeah.
Yeah, he got
Well,
banned.
see, we disagree on several
I think
points,
he is too.
Gary.
That's what I'm going to lean. I'm leaning that way too.
Yeah.
I
Well,
never
you
seen something
really
so
need
scary
to,
in my life.
Gary, you really need to just really objectively look into these things that you think, and you just need to be really objective about them and not subjective. And so, I mean, there's lots of things. How I look at it. Bigfoot is a animal. It's an animal, just like the rest of us. We're all in the animal kingdom, and it's an animal. And my hypothesis about that particular animal is that it belongs somewhere in the evolutionary line of primates, obviously, of Homoidea. It belongs in there. That's my hypothesis.
Would cavemen look like that back then?
Well, it depends
Really?
on what caveman you're talking about. And,
Like say when they're anywhere from 8 feet tall and on up. Now people say they're 12 and on up. Holy cow!
yeah, well, when you start getting over 8 feet tall and etc., I'm starting to doubt. Not doubt that I'm not doubting that somebody might have seen something if they say it's that big, but I'm doubting that they got the size right.
Yeah,
I think
that's what
that
they're saying. They're about right there in Alaska. They're
I
about
think
that
that
big
I
tall.
think that sometimes people overestimate height. And that is because of the situation. I think it's because they were scared. I could have easily been so frightened that, I mean, during my encounter, I could have went like, that thing had to be 12 feet tall. Well, I know it wasn't that tall. It was only about 18 inches taller than me. Now that's still a good size, right? 7 foot tall, or 7.5 foot tall, pretty much towers over my 5 foot 10-inch frame myself. But when it comes to that, when people are start talking about, and you're starting to see these AI pictures, there's some more cartoons right
I
there
don't
for
pay
you.
attention to that. I don't.
There's some more cartoons for you there, folks. Is the pictures that are coming out. Oh, hey, we got Mr. David Wilbanks. Hi, Dave. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm at
Looks like-
work.
Yeah, it looks like you're in your store.
Yeah, guitars on the walls. I saw you
love-
went live, and somebody messed up in chat and left a link to come on, and I clicked on it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, absolutely. So we're just doing some Saturday morning cartoons here and laughing at some of the stuff, and
I got Joe sidetracked.
the more ridiculous stuff that you see,
Oh yeah, cartoons are fun.
And the newest. I don't know if you saw the article I put up there from the Paducah Insider, a satirical paper. Oh, excuse me, a satirical paper there. Oh, we lost him. Maybe he'll get to come back. He hit the wrong button. That's what it was. Hey, Chewy.
I want to see my smiling face.
Chewy and Brian go hiking. What's up, my man? How you doing? How's Chewy doing, Brian? Is he doing okay now? Is he all recovered from his run-in with Christopher Noel's Bigfoot? Okay, there we go. It looks like we got David back. Yeah, there we go. Hey, we got him back. So, yeah, how many times, David, have you seen something in like one of these satirical rags about I'm having Bigfoot's baby?
Well, that's the good one. That's Weekly World News stuff there.
Isn't it though?
Man, I'll tell you, back when I was a teenager, I worked in an IGA grocery store, and we used to just wait for the new issues of Weekly World News to come out just to see who Bigfoot was having a baby with this week. So
yeah. Well, apparently now he's Bigfoot has, or at least a Bigfoot has impregnated this woman in Paducah, and
really,
maybe all the children we hear in the woods.
Yeah, it was
all the babies he had.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll just for you, Dave. I'll show you this. It's this lady and this man right here. If you can see that.
I saw that. Yeah, that's I don't know what else could have happened. It must be Bigfoot.
Yeah. I mean, she's obviously got a little bun in the oven there. And we got Mr. Universe right here next to her.
Just because you can legally go without a shirt doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure whether I think maybe the guy here and the one in the picture here is they look like they could be related. Who knows? But yeah,
I wouldn't bet money against it.
But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, if it comes out short and hairy, we're all gonna know.
Well,
right.
I mean, what is he? He's like what, 50 something, and she's like 25.
Yeah, she's 24 and he's 53.
Okay, well, depending on where they are, just because they're married doesn't mean that that's not her dad.
Right. Right. Well, that's why I kind of alluded to some inbreeding there, maybe, and and I don't know if because it is totally possible, right? It is totally. We know it is. It is totally possible that these are actually two people that have made this claim, and this satirical newspaper caught hold of it and ran with the article, right?
Possible.
It
You
is
never
also
know.
totally possible that they just made up this whole thing and picked two of the most inbred people they could think of or find to put in the article and said, "Hey, you guys want to be part of this? We're going to make a big joke about Bigfoot. We're going to say,
Yeah,
since
maybe
you're
so.
pregnant, we're going to say that you're pregnant with Bigfoot, and this guy is going to give Bigfoot a stern talking to when he finally meets him."
Yeah, I'm honestly, after looking at the picture, I'm just not comfortable digging very far into that story, Joe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's one of them ones where you give it a passing glance and you laugh at it, and it's like whatever.
Well, I
Pretty
tell you what,
ridiculous.
here's what I hope that picture is. I hope that that's just two employees of that station that said, "Hey, you know what would be funny?"
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and if it's
yeah,
anything with the Weekly World News, there's a very good chance that's exactly what it is.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, I looked up on Facebook. I looked up the Paducah Insider, which is the uh, publisher of this thing, and it says right at the top of the page, it's a satirical newspaper thing. Just
right,
kind of like the
hey,
Onion and stuff like that.
right, hey, I've got to go. I've got a customer just calling, so
All righty.
talk at you later.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Hey.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Donald.
well, be thing with that ain't Mrs. Bigfoot claiming something like that.
Donald says, "Looks
Yeah,
like my
generally.
53-year-old body." That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So
I just wonder if that was the one that was stand up on the upper ledge where I could see the long hair hanging down from its arm. What if that there could have been a female one?
it's funny
Because
that you should mention that.
that's what they claim. They got this long. You can see the long hair hanging down.
Hey, Pyromedic is in the house. How you doing, Pyromedic? Pyromedic has a query. He says, "Wonder what BF would pay in child support." I don't know. Beef jerky?
Dear me, dear me.
Beef jerky maybe. Pine cones? Yeah, pine cones. There you go, pine cones. Yeah, but it's wonder what. I don't know. It's but yeah, it's funny that you should mention that the female thing because we were just talking about this the other day, and it was something that came up actually on the Coalition for Critical Thinking and Bigfoot Research.
Would they have like jagged teeth on them too? Because I see something awful. No, wasn't that far away. It looks like it had jagged teeth too.
Well, all I can say,
it looked to me, it looked like a damn monster.
I can't say a whole lot more about Bigfoot than what my
a lot of crazy stuff.
My encounter tells me about it, which isn't much. Obviously, I've only seen one. I've never seen a female Bigfoot. I've never seen a baby Bigfoot or juvenile or whatever they want to call them. Now, of course, I don't deny that, obviously female Bigfoot and juvenile Bigfoots have to exist if it's a species, of course. They have to be propagating.
I know a good size print and a baby small size print. I'd say probably about 4 to 5 inches it was.
Well, yeah. I've very rarely found prints. Nothing that I can say definitively belonged to Bigfoot. I
stumbled on it.
Could be Bigfoot.
Clear, if I took a take a picture of my foot, that's how clear it was. That's why I said way I am, I figured out, well, I'm going to do the right thing and rub it out. No, that's what I did. I rubbed it out.
Gary, that's I don't know if you know what that means. That's funny, Gary, because I don't know if you know the other meaning of that term that you just said about rubbing it out.
Well, the footprint. No, the footprint.
Yeah, I got you. It's just the way you said it. It's kind of
well. I got excited. I got carried away.
But Anyway, so on the coalition, they were talking about something about habituation and all that other stuff. And it's so funny that he said it's been going on. Steven Strufer, who's the originator of that page, he had mentioned that there was a lot of incidents. That the whole habituation claim has been going on for a long time, and I was not aware of it because way back in the day, I never heard of anybody saying that they had habituated a bunch of Bigfoot and etc. But nowadays, of course, you hear it all the time. Oh, I got all these Bigfoot on my property, and I talk to them every day, and they come by and they blah blah blah. I don't know, play cribbage or something. And it seems to be a lot more now.
Well, I'm surprised he even answered me. I'm surprised. I'm still shocked that it answered me. Even for it even be there, still there in the same spot. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lee3 has an interesting comment here. He says,
somehow they know, Joe. Somehow they friggin' know.
Women are stronger than men mentally and physically too in most races. Just saying. Sasquatch female could be stronger too. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I can say that I can tell you that I've seen women that are probably stronger than a lot of men. I don't think it's a thing. I mean, mostly it is true that, of course, men and women are built differently, and women can be physically strong. Absolutely. They don't mostly have the muscle mass. They can get quite a bit. I've seen female bodybuilders that I would not mess with. I would not mess with some female bodybuilders, but if you take a man of the same size, he's got more muscle mass, so I think he's going to be physically stronger. But I get your point. I mean, I'm not saying female Sasquatch could probably just rip your arm off just like a male could anyway.
Without doubt.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah. And we got Nikki in the house. Hey, Nikki, welcome. Harry Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. How you doing? Good to see you, Nikki.
I'm gonna say at least 8.5 feet tall. It could have been more.
The link's in the chat, so if you want to hop on, Nikki, and talk about the Saturday morning cartoons here or Saturday afternoon cartoons we got going on. That's pretty
funny
cool.
How they stay about 100 yards or so away from you. That's about how far it was. But it'll stand right out in the open.
Hey, Sharon. Sharon's in the chat. Hi, Sharon. Good to see you.
I did ask, if let me know when it's there. So they understand English, Joe. They understand freaking English.
Well, now how is that, Gary?
Stand out there, let me see it.
How is that, Gary? How do they understand English?
I don't know. That's like when I was calling out his name. He answered me, said yes, but he did it in two different tones: a high pitch and a medium. Then when he brought it down.
Well, I'm glad you said you don't know. A lot of people would claim that they do know.
I know what they sound like, what pitch they have.
Well, I don't know what a Bigfoot sounds like, except for the sound that I heard when I was at my encounter.
Scary, right to the bone.
I heard that scream, and that's like nothing I've ever heard before, and I haven't heard it since either. But
it's not a scream like they, they like what do you call them things there? Them things that how you call them darn things there? Poltergeist or some kind of not that, but
Banshee.
Yeah, Banshee. Yeah. It wasn't nothing like that, but it does have that high pitch. When it answered, it had that high pitch. I mean, it was loud as hell. I mean, friggin' loud. Even when it brought down in the middle of it, it was still kind of loud.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know, Gary. I don't know how to explain your situation. That's up to you, man. I don't know, man. It sounds pretty fantastical to me. I've always said that.
I thought it was scary. I thought it was cool, but I thought it was scary at that time because it answered me. I just want to know if this was his name that I was told.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people would, a
lot of people don't even try to, say, hey, is this your name? Or even try to figure out their name. No, I noticed that quite a bit now. And why, when I was told mine speak, his name, why me? Why the hell me? That's all the things that I done. Especially when I had my damn rifle pointing at his face.
Well, Gary, I think a lot of people would be very interested if you would,
I
uh,
told it so many times. I'm just tired of telling it anymore because,
start
like, I'm
start
trying to
trying.
forget it. I'm doing my
If you
best to
have
forget it.
any other experiences, try recording some of it. Just
Put,
try it.
put me in a state of that with that PTSD for a year and a half. For a year and a half, Joe. Man, I had tears in my goddamn eyes for a year. I could from the time I woke up, from the time I went to bed. No, I
Well,
still when I talk about, I still get a little bit teary out
that's
of
what
what
I
I
would.
went through.
That's what I would suggest to you, Gary.
And a
I
lot of
would
people don't
suggest that
understand it. Nobody
you,
understands it.
you know what, if you try to record some of this stuff, and it may help you. It may help you. It may
Yeah,
help you
now I got these
because
goddamn ghosts. I got to contend
either
with
you're
these son
going
of
to
a
get
ghosts.
something real
No way.
recorded or you won't. And then if you don't, then you've got to
I don't
like
want to contend with these
kind of
ghosts. I
think,
don't.
you know. Mr. Lee 3PO, that's a little too much information. Little too much information. Kind of funny though. Um, Brian and Chewy says he feels like he's in the Matrix. Which is it, the red pill or the blue pill? I don't know which. I don't know which. So, hey, folks in chat, what is some of your? We're gonna try to keep this kind of lighthearted. So, um, what are some of your favorite funny things about Bigfoot? Either you can click the link and come on and tell, or you can write them in the chat.
Yes, give
But
Joe some courtesy, everybody.
um, Brandy, Brandy. Well, you know what, Gary, this is a comment for you from Brandy. She says, respectfully, Gary, I don't believe you're tired of talking about it. You never stop talking about it. If
Info,
anything, I think you might still have some things to work through, it sounds.
well, info. I'm giving out info, like I said, wrote it out. I'm giving out info.
That's probably a good thing to do. Write it down. Write it down. Donald, he says, Joe must really like that hat. I do like this hat. I do, actually. And best of all, Mr. Lee likes this hat. So, yeah, I like that. I like that Mr. Lee likes my hat. I wish I could get a bunch of them and auction them off. The official Satch Squatch cowboy hat, but obviously I can't. And welcome to the chat, Brandy. Brandy says she hopes everybody is having a good weekend. Well, hope you're having a good one too, Brandy. I hope you're having a good one too. So, I wish I knew some Bigfoot jokes. I don't know any Bigfoot jokes, like Bigfoot walks into a bar kind of jokes or anything like that. So, if anybody has any of those, that would be awesome. Yeah, Mr. Leaf 3PO. I love the hat, Joe. That's cool. Maybe someday when I'm done with it, maybe I'll send it to you, Mr. Lee.
Yeah,
I
you need
still
to
have,
come on.
and I'm sorry, Mr. Lee. I know I still have not sent you the John Wayne things, man. I got it. Well, everybody knows the financial situation I've been in lately that has been relieved thanks to a lot of really kind people. But when I'm done with this current situation and my finances get back into shape, I will really actually send those to you. It's actually a little expensive to ship overseas, but I'm willing to do it because I know you want those, and I don't really have a use for them right now. They're really nice though. They're really nice, and if you're a John Wayne fan, that's cool. I'd rather see them go to somebody like that really appreciates them, and instead of just like tossing them away or putting them in storage for eternity. So,
Yeah,
what's
the only
that?
drawback say, hey, is that you, Joe?
Donald says, I'm waiting for Yogi and Boo Boo to come in chat. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Mr. Lee says it's okay, Joe. Costs big bucks. I know it. Yeah, yeah. So, you know what? I think I might have to try to work on that. Start coming up with some Bigfoot jokes. Um, yeah, right. That's a good attempt there. Sharon says Bigfoot was spotted throwing a tantrum and talking back to his parents. No wonder they call him Sass Squatch. That was another one of those cartoons that I saw that it was apparently two adult Bigfoots, male and female, and a small female Bigfoot. Oddly enough, the small female child Bigfoot had a cell phone, was staring at it, and the female Bigfoot was saying to the male Bigfoot, she's a teenager. Of course, she acts like we don't exist. So, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, now I get it, Donald. Yeah, thanks for explaining it to me. So you look like Ranger Smith, Joe. Was that his name? I had forgotten his name. Was that his name, Ranger Smith, with Yogi and Boo Boo? Hey, Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo. Let's steal some picnic baskets. Question: how does Bigfoot capture special memories with a faux toe? There you go. Sharon's got the spirit. She's got the spirit. She just keeps coming up with them. Knock, knock. Who's there? Achu. Achu who? Achu is too small to fit on Bigfoot. Achu. Achu. Ha ha ha. I get it. I get it. I get it. All right. Sharon's in the spirit of the thing. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Well, I could jump off, let somebody else come on.
Oh. Well, we're going to. Oh, there it goes. Jen just put the link in the chat again. Anybody wants to come on, say some funny stuff about Bigfoot? Let's see. It says, why did Bigfoot's sock have a hole in it? Answer, how else could he put his foot in it? Well, yeah, it's got to have a hole on one end, right? At least. If it doesn't have that hole, how are you going to get the sock on your foot? That's right. Oh, Sharon says, Google comes in handy at times. There you go. There you go. Mr. Lee says, I don't get it. Well, Mr. Lee, right? I mean, your sock has a hole in it, right? You got to be able to slip it onto your foot. There's a hole right there. I mean, if it didn't have that, you wouldn't get the sock on, right?
Well, do you want me to
Oh,
jump out, let
boy.
somebody else have a turn, or?
What does Bigfoot like for breakfast? Buttered toast. That's a little strange. Jen messaged me. Hang on. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That is a good one. Right there. Let me see here. I'm getting all this stuff backed up here. That is a I think I've actually is it that one? Yeah. There you go. That's the one I like to put up. Feeling cute. Might let someone see me later. I don't know. I wonder if that's what they really think sometimes. Hey, feeling kind of cute today. I think I'll just let somebody see me. All courtesy of Google. Yeah, they got some. I would classify them as Bigfoot dad jokes. Yeah, Bigfoot dad jokes. Brandy, ew, Brandy. She says, just makes me think of toe jam. Ooh. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Well, let me jump out, Joe. Let somebody else have a turn.
All right, Gary. Well, thanks for coming on,
Oh
man.
no, hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you for letting me jump on.
Hey, man. Yeah, you
Hey,
pop
no,
up. I'll bring you up, man. I don't have a
no,
problem with it, man. You always come to the chats and
maybe
stuff.
again some other time. Who knows when?
All righty,
Just
buddy.
that spur moment thing. Okay, thank you.
All right, my friend. Let's see. She's coming up with them, folks. What is a Bigfoot's favorite mint candy? Mentos. 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 Yeah. Yeah. That is funny. That is funny. It's just that, and like I've mentioned, folks, it's like you really have to, you really have to start. At least, I mean, not you. I'm more or less referring to myself when I say these things. I mean, you really have to really just keep a sense of humor, even though some of it is very irritating. The hoaxers, the Mike Pattersons, the Sue Walkers, the uh, those irritating, but you really gotta just kind of keep a sense of humor about it, and try to just be like, okay, that's just funny bullshit stuff, and I'm not, and not try to let it get to you so much. And I think, what is this? Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Jen's coming up with some. Bigfoot, yeah, we've heard that one. Yeah, Bigfoot is sometimes confused with Sasquatch, yet he never complains. Yeti never complains. Now I've never heard that one. I've seen aliens. I've seen Bigfoot. I've even fed a few fish to the Loch Ness Monster, but I still have never seen a BMW driver use his turn signals. Oh, that's funny. I didn't never heard that one either. What do they call Bigfoot in Europe? Big meter. Big meter. Did you hear about Bigfoot's promotion at work? He had big shoes to fill. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Oh. Oh. Let's see. Wish more peeps in this community would have humor. Not so bad to laugh sometimes. Oh, absolutely not, Mr. Lee. Laughter is good for your soul. Even though I don't really believe people have souls, but the saying is valid. It's good for you. Laughter is good for you. And so, yeah, we should always laugh at things that, that are funny, and, and ridiculous. And we know that, there's 90% of things that are ridiculous in this whole thing, man. It's just the way it is, and now, hey, we got Dave back. Now, when I say, that, people, the one thing I like to not rail against, but one thing I have a counterpoint to when people say, well, nobody should be ridiculed. Well, if you deserve ridicule, I'm sorry, because there are some people that deserve ridicule. Now, I don't include things like people with their encounters. Okay. Especially not if they are honest, genuine people that are telling a really encounter. Now, when you get people that are starting to talk some really out there nonsense, well, that's ridiculous. And you have a problem with like a certain person. I'm not going to name him now because we all know who he is. He's been on a couple of shows. He was been on Jeff's show. I mean, that is ridiculous. And that's like what Leon, who just joined me. Thank you, Leon. Who's pulling into my driveway? I think I just got it.
How you doing, Leon?
I'm okay. I've just been trying to waddle around, changing my house around a bit with my capacity. So
cool.
I moved 2 large pieces of furniture. There's gloriousness. So
yeah.
Am
I sounding okay? Am I sounding?
You're a little low, but you sound good.
Okay.
And we have Nikki. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
Okay.
And I'm going to mute myself for a second here. You guys start to talk amongst yourselves. My dog's starting to bark, and I'm going to mute while.
I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm down here. I don't know if y'all can see out the window behind me. It is flooding.
Nice.
I need some of that over here. How are you, Leon?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good. Running the racetrack yet?
Oh yeah. I've been trying to do flowers. I usually have my landscaping all done, but can't, of course, now. But man, try to put flowers when you can't bend over. Forget it. It's not gonna happen.
Oh man.
But I did do 3 plots yesterday. I got 3 plots lined up today, so that's my big goal for later this afternoon when the sun comes around the building.
Yeah.
So get some shade on that side. But
yeah, little steps.
Yeah.
Little steps. You got to start making the rounds.
Yeah, they're little steps for sure. That's the problem. It's all little steps. I think getting back to topic, what we're talking about here is I like that I'm starting to see content creators for Bigfoot start to razz these guys. It's called public shaming. And public shaming isn't about attacking, but it's you use literally sarcastic humor of how ridiculous it is. Like, I mean, it's going to be very hard for, like, what's his name from Ontario Sasquatch or whatever his name is there.
Sasquatch Ontario. Yeah,
Mike,
you got it.
Yeah, I know Mike. I mean, I should remember, but my brain has a problem pulling up people. But that is exactly what needs to be done. This is ridiculous. and then just do jokes about it, because that's the best way to come against any kind of system that is authoritarian or very rigid, is you mock it. And I know it sounds weird, but that's actually a great way. That's why comedians are so effective. And that's why they're usually attacked first right away in regards to authoritarian systems, is they can't handle criticism.
Yeah.
But you're not mocking them. You are mocking them, but you're not mocking them. You're mocking the ridiculousness of it. And then you're challenging the viewers to say, look, if you bought into this, how embarrassing is it for the viewer? Speaking from somebody who bought into it. And I think it's important that humor is used to, again, move the system forward, which is, it's happening. I mean, Joe, what was the channel that was you mentioned? Eric sent me the link to that channel yesterday. I haven't ever seen them before. And I thought, yeah, great. It's like, weekly news in the Bigfoot community and stuff like that. And I thought, yeah, that's what you want to do. And you want to do it the way they do it, or he's been trying to do it, which is effectively, but with humor added to it. It's like Phil from Paranormal Breakdown. He does a great job at doing that as well. So,
yeah. And I mean, I can't speak. I'm not speaking for David or Nikki here, but I know, we've fallen for the ridiculousness of it ourselves. At one time or another. And but so that's the question I had, and you pretty much gave me your answer, Leon, which is that I take as a positive thing. I know that we're serious about the research, of course we are, and we're serious about finding the real answers, but don't you think, I mean, there is room in all of this. There has to be, right, for humor, you know. And having said that, and then I'll get to Nikki and Dave here. Do you think that there's a good that this is a good thing to have some humor about this whole thing? And at the same time, do you think it's the actual humor that maybe on some portion or some level, is it doing any damage to the research side? Do you understand?
No, I
that
think
question?
it's part of the research. I think it's part of the research side. Open system, levity, spontaneity, creativity. Closed system, rigidity, control, and power. Shh. How you break that down is by adding humor. You go, anybody who is, I mean, think of it. If any of us online that are watching me right now, we bow knees to certain people that we think are fairly decent, especially if you just come online, because you don't know if you trust people, not just. But as time moves forward, usually around the 4-year mark or 5th-year mark for people, they start having a conflict. And I think the conflict is the difference between you come into a subject out of curiosity. So you go to curious, entertaining channels about the topic, but they're entertainment channels. You do get information, but they're not research channels. They might claim to be research channels, but they're not doing any type of, showing people how to research. And, not everybody. That's what's so exciting about what I see now happening in the system. Because when I got online, we didn't have a network like we have now of channels like on Dave's show with Joe from BS Sasquatch. It's been great watching. And the nice thing for me is I get to watch all you guys over a period of years change, evolve, and correct your positioning. But by doing what you do is you're setting an example. Now, the problem is with the closed system that we used to have, it can't handle that, because the persons doing the channel are going to eventually have to be stuck with, okay, do I just keep up the narration? Well, they can, but the serious people who, when things get, kicking the ball forward, or the standard gets higher, you can't keep doing the other thing because it becomes old. We watch Nikki's movies, back in those days. Those were terrifying. If you're back in the 50s and 60s in the theater watching that kind of stuff, you watch it now, it's like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy, And that's exactly the same feeling you get when you, again, bow your knees down to, and I have done this. I mean, Christopher Noel, I used to support. Why? Because he had his channel and 15,000 viewers, and the Facebook places I got stuck in, they all bowed down because, again, they were like, it's like that awestruck of, a celebrity being in your Facebook group. Same with MK too. MK was the same way. Everyone he had a good reputation. He had great ideas before. Something's happened from that to today, where he was on target and then all of a sudden he went off target, as Thomas mentioned. And look, I'm not here to ridicule anybody. I'm here to find evidence or channels that assist me to find a Sasquatch. I'm an investigator, you could say. I'm not. If it's entertainment, I have no problems. I have no problems with entertainment channels if they're entertainment. If they're not saying they're entertainment, I need to have the wits about me to decipher if it's entertainment. In other words, like finding Bigfoot in these TV shows and stuff like that, compared to research channels that are talking like you did a brilliant job yesterday on that show you were on. And I thought you were totally in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it was a fun
You were
show.
totally in your wheelhouse. You should be talking to that type of audience, because that audience is the next step. The people in the chat and that follow us, they kind of know what we're already talking about. And it's coming. Like the funny thing is it's coming. See the smile on my face? Nikki shows with what she comes up with. They make me smile because it's an open system. Levity. For God's sake, we're talking about Sasquatches here. We're not talking about the end of the world, But the people in rigid systems inside themselves, they react as if you're taking their private sacred cow away from them. And that's telling you right there, if you have that reaction, you can't be objective in anything. If you have a wife or a husband and you're fighting with your wife or your husband, the argument's no longer about whatever the topic was brought forward. It's about you trying to get her to hear your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can come back. If she could just understand my point of view, if he could just understand my point of view, then I can come back to a relaxed state. Problem is, the topic's never dealt with. It's about this self-centered subjective reaction that you're trying to regulate, not the subject anymore. So you can't stay objective. And it's important for us to learn how to shut up, including me. And I'm a big talker. You guys know that. But most people say, you're a great listener. Because I find I'm wanting to learn from people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the academic. I'm trained academically, but I use PhD people in that all the time because they know what I don't know. And I want to make sure what I'm saying isn't pseudoscience, pseudopsychology, pseudo spirituality, pseudo anything. Because pseudo doesn't mean it's functionally helpful to me, because I want to stay in a solid sense of myself. Calm, relaxed state, as Caesar Milan would say. And the only way you can do that was with his good information. So you come into the system, you're trusting, you're curious, and then you realize this isn't helping. There's something wrong here. Heaven forbid you say anything like that. You know? So you have to
because you're gonna get people just climbing all over you, right? But, and it's funny. It's like,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Leo.
I was just going to say. I mean, I'm just saying. Listen, I didn't come online to do what I do behind the scenes with the other channels. And I don't sit there and say, oh, I did all this with the other channels, but I certainly helped negotiate or help people navigate to a different way of thinking. I couldn't tell them they're doing stupid thinking. You have to show a person how to do stupid thinking, that they're doing stupid thinking. I have to be shown that my thinking is stupid. Do I like it when I find out my thinking is stupid? No, but I'm already in a conflict in my head thinking this is stupid thinking. So I have to wrestle with that, not being not denial about it, and keep, this is the strange thing about cults is when you give a person in a cult solid evidence that they're wrong, they will hunker down even more, almost 10 times more to defend their position. Surely you would think that the cult would just disband because the evidence now has been, how many ends of the world predictions have been done? You would think that all those belief systems of that nature would disband, but they don't disband. They hunker down. They actually blow up into other kind of styles of denominations, you could say, to keep this rhetoric going, because no one has the right to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I pose that to you guys for the last 2 years. I've been doing a survey asking the best of the best that I know. What are 3 good questions you would ask yourself to know whether or not you're on the right side of history before you're in the wrong side of history, so that you could ask it when you're in the wrong side of history to realize that you're wrong.
Yeah.
As Neil deGrasse Tyson says, the big mystery in the world is we believe enough about a subject that we think we're right, but not enough about that subject to realize that we're actually wrong.
Yeah.
And the first one in those 3 questions is, can I ask questions? If you're going to backlash for asking a question, there's something wrong with the system. Family system, work system, whatever. Police system. Dave was in the police system. He knows there's certain things he could talk about, and other ones was talked about under the table talk with the certain members of the law enforcement. But you don't just ask them out loud into the big general system, because there's going to be an implication to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I love watching you guys do. I mean, do your own channels. I said to Dave on the show the other day when he had Joe on, it's so nice to see some down home talk about this topic.
Yeah.
There's no BS
especially with
his show. He's just
especially
Dave
with
talking about it, and Joe's talking about it. There's no, this is a Sasquatch, that's a Sasquatch. Dave's going, geez, I wish I could get you guys to hear the noises behind me. He's a good guy. That's what you see. Go ahead, David.
By the way, I bought a microphone that's supposed to work with this phone. So weather permitting, we're in a downpour here right now, but if I can get back to the place I was tomorrow evening, I'm going to try to do another live in the woods like I did last week. Seems like people were halfway interested anyway. So
people love seeing you out in the woods, man. I mean, because that's where the action is supposed to be, is out in the woods. So where are you gonna have a potential to hear something strange, or maybe capture something strange on a camera or something? Well, it's gonna be out in the woods, man. So yeah, people love watching that kind of stuff now. And Leon, yeah, I mean, what you just said, I mean, obviously 90% of what we're seeing, you're not allowed to ask questions. Even if you ask them in the most politest way, you're not allowed to ask questions, because if you're asking questions, that means you're a bully. That means you get blocked. That means your comment gets taken down or whatever. And, and it's funny because you mentioned that show last night, and sometimes some of the things I find funny, are a little weird. There was somebody in the chat that I think it was after I had mentioned, somebody had come up with mentioning Melba Ketchum and DNA study. And I made the comment, I was like, no, that's been discredited. I'm sorry. That is not even reality right there. It's been discredited by the whole scientific community, and she has no credibility with me. And now she's looking at Dogman DNA. Oh, I'm going to get Dogman DNA. No, you're not, because Dogman's not real. Sorry.
Hey, Doc, a lot of these people, and Brent, I think, has done a phenomenal job with this. It's not that hard to look into the backgrounds of some of these people.
Yeah.
But it's really not that hard.
I got a comment after I'd said that, and I don't know whether they were acting to the fact that I don't believe Mel will catch them and they're a big fan, or I don't believe in Dogman. But I got a comment in the comment section, in the comments, in the chat. Somebody was like, "This guy sucks. I'm out of here." And it was all I could do just not to start busting out laughing at that comment, because I'm like, right there, boom, that goes to show you who's got the problem here. Not me.
Yeah.
It's that person right there. This guy sucks. I'm out of here. Well,
Hey,
goodbye.
Some people get triggered so easy by stuff. I made that silly video about how to call a Bigfoot and how to call a dog man. The dog biscuit.
That was hilarious, Dave. That is. Did you guys
trigger some people on that? You can throw it up there if you want, Joe. But one guy's like, "You're not really going to attract a dog man doing that." And I'm like, "Dude, this is a joke video." But I've got some friends here in Oklahoma that 100% believe that Dogman is real, that thought it was hilarious. I'm like, okay, you got to be able to have a sense of humor about stuff,
Hang on just a second. I'm going to try to pull this up. And hang on.
Well, while you're doing that, I really like Joe from No BS Sasquatch. His black and white he did the other day, that little short one he did with I think it's with
Matt Dillon.
What's the name of that Chicago show back in the day?
Gunsmoke.
Was it? Yeah, that was brilliant. And that's what I love. I love, like, Nikki does great ideas like that, and he does neat ideas like that. And your ideas are great. And that's all you need to do is keep the levity going, and people are going to take it in. Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Instead of, I just don't believe them. Fine. Don't.
This is the one that Dave put up. This is for the people in chat who might not have seen this. This is the thing that Dave put up. This is funny. I laughed my ass off at this because I originally didn't know where he was going with this, but
it was spur of the moment, Joe.
Yeah. So you guys got to watch this. First, he's going to show you how to call Bigfoot. Oh, wait. Hang on. I got to go back to that. There we go.
How to call a Sasquatch. How to call a dog man.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's what you
How
want.
to call.
That's great.
I mean, is that hilarious or what?
That's great.
I thought that was just some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. That was perfect. And the way you did the perfect reaction about when you saw the dog man. That was great. Oh,
Just if we've got any of the more gullible folks that are on some of these places, there was really never a dog man there.
that was hilarious. I thought it was pretty
Uh.
funny. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think you gotta kind of just keep a sense of humor about some of it. And I mean, Nikki has, I mean, she's got a sense of humor. I know she does, And
I try. It's getting harder and harder, but I try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really tested last night and this morning in this, this mess and YouTube, and it's crap, and then arguing about the freaking mask that Patterson put out, and I'm like, geez.
What?
How does
What was the
anybody
argument about that?
see that that's a
Who's
man?
arguing about that?
Yeah, no, this guy was arguing that it was his arm, not a piece of black fabric underneath the chin. And he just immediately started calling me a troll the instant I said that. And I was like, you know what, dude?
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, Joe and Nikki, I think we need to take up a collection so Mike can afford the whole costume, so he won't have to just set a mask on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. He does.
GoFundMe for Mike's
Why he
Bigfoot
didn't get the whole
costume.
thing and would do it like that, I don't know. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with that picture, I mean, that's obviously a privacy fence. There's a towel there. I'm thinking there's probably like a jacuzzi or a hot tub there in the side of that thing. And that black fabric looks like it's probably the cover to the, maybe it's the cover to the hot tub.
It didn't even look that thick to me at all. It just looked like a...
Yeah.
Well, it depends on, it's just a lattice. They're 4x8 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on, it's either if it's on the side, which it probably is, it's only 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
And there's a table behind it with the black cloth and a master sitting on it. If it's sitting straight up, it's 8 foot tall, which I've got the same lattice stuff here in the store separating some stuff. So they're 4x8 pieces.
At this point, it doesn't even have to have a body on there. He could just be propping up the, with the head thing, stuffed head right there, and then moved it over and took another picture.
Honestly, Nikki, I think he could have literally stuck the mask on a metal fence post that was purely visible, and people would have said, yes, that's real. The Sasquatch can do that. They can manifest just their head.
Just their head, right.
Disguised as a gorilla mask, set on top of a steel post. I know Mike, and this is real.
Yeah.
Well, and that's they love to say that. I know Mike. I know his research. I've seen all his stuff, and he's not lying. And I'm like, have you not read any of the text messages with him? Have you not seen any of that?
No, because you're not allowed to look outside of the system, right?
Right.
Because it's too threatening to you. Instead of look at it, people kind of harp on us. Well, you're going after so and so. Check other people out. Like there's some really good. There's a group of guys. I can't remember, Joe. I think I sent you one of their video what the name of their channel is, but they're guys that are they work. The last movie they worked on was King Kong versus Godzilla. And they go through Bigfoot stuff sometimes too. And they'll say, well, this is a costume. That's how you can tell it's a costume. Look, get other information outside of the system. As long as you're in the system, you can't be affected by the system. Coalition for Critical Thinking is a good example of that, because they've been in it so long, they become cynical about everything, which makes them not neutral about data. So something can come across their plate, they're going to dissect it immediately to the negative instead of see if something's there. It's frustrating if you're an investigator or researcher, because you have to go through the dump trucks of all the stuff. That's what I'm saying is let's do a hold on all UFO, Bigfoot pictures and videos until you get something brilliant, like maybe another Gimlin film, that clear, even if it's 90 seconds, but clear, and then put that on. That will smoke everyone's butt to get out there to do the right stuff, and it'll cause problems for these other people, like that channel that Eric sent me. They did Zasky on there too, and Zasky's got this picture of a Sasquatch. There you go, folks. Evidence. Bigfoot is 20 feet tall in Florida.
Yeah.
And green.
Really? 20 feet tall. I think he'd be spotted a lot easier if they're 20 feet tall, Think at the trail he would have to leave and go through. You would see it,
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt.
Madness. And that's the thing, is no one wants to think it's madness. It's madness.
Yeah.
And if you don't tell people it's madness, their reality gets stuck in the delusion of what they're receiving. Go ahead, Dave.
Also, Leon, if you had something 20 foot tall and it left droppings in the woods, you would pretty much rule out pretty much any other animal that left that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. 100%. Not to mention, an 8-foot Sasquatch is about 4 feet across. A 20-foot Sasquatch would be 10 feet across. Really.
And that's what's so humorous. That's what's so humorous about some of these new AI photos that they're coming out with that are supposed to be vintage photos that show like these people in clothes from the 1930s and stuff like that. And there's like a freaking 16, 17 foot tall Sasquatch next to him. It's like, that is so funny. It's
I'll tell you though,
that picture's been hidden forever. We've never seen. Oh my gosh, look at that. See, they knew the Bigfoots were that tall back then. Yeah.
The problem is AI is only going to get better and better. And that's going to make it really bad, as if it's not already. Well, now we've got the AI fake stuff, the Patterson type fake stuff. But then on the other side, you've got the picture of a blurry tree with a red circle around it.
Yeah.
So you've got all this wide variety of stuff. And like we were talking about the other night, I can kind of give a pass to the blurry tree thing because, it's not proof, but, I wasn't there. And there could be something there, but it's just not. Yeah, I don't think that's outright hoaxing.
No, sometimes I think it's just people who want to believe, and it's like, yeah. I mean, you can kind of give them a little slide, but I think it's still incumbent that that some of us need to at least gently say, look, okay, maybe you think you have something there, but the problem is, if there is something there, this is not conclusive evidence.
Right.
Not saying that what you're doing is totally wrong. I understand that you really want to, you want to share some kind of experience or picture you think it is, but this is not conclusive evidence. You cannot tell if that's a Bigfoot. And I mean, if it is a stump, I think it's incumbent upon you to go, look, man, what I'm really seeing there is a stump. Can you go back to that spot and get some more pictures? Is that what you took gone? Because at least that would go a long way in showing that there at least was something there. Maybe it wasn't a Bigfoot. Maybe it was a Bigfoot. But, so that kind of stuff, but there are some people out there that they absolutely know what they're taking a picture of, and they're putting a circle and an arrow, and they know it's not a Bigfoot, but they want to convince other people that it is. But
and two, and I know Leon and Brent's talked about it a lot. By the time a person gets to the point where they're sending what we used to call them blob squatches and stuff, they're not really, a lot of them anyway. I don't want to overgeneralize, but a lot of them don't really want the critique. They want the confirmation. That, and we could all fall into that. Hey, I've got a few blob squatch pictures myself, but I'm not publishing them, And there's a couple of them that I think there's a decent chance that may be what it is. But is it anywhere that I could show it to y'all? And you go, Dave, you've got a Sasquatch. No.
Yeah.
It falls under my that's interesting file,
Yeah, we share a similar opinion on that, Dave, is a blurry picture, even if I knew absolutely that it was a Sasquatch, If it was blurry, I wouldn't bother to show it to anybody. I mean, because it's inconclusive and you can't see that it was a Sasquatch. Even if I saw it with my own two eyes, and I can go, holy crap, that's a Bigfoot. And I take a picture of it and the picture comes out blurry and I go, that's not showing what I was looking at. There's no sense in putting that up, at that point, the only thing you're trying to do is convince other people, and they're not going to be convinced. Well, at least most people, I would think. Oh, no, let me take that back. Most people on the internet would be, oh, that's great. That's a lovely picture of Bigfoot. I can see the eyes and the nose. And, it's a blurry picture, and you're going, how do you see that, man? I don't see that. But
the bar is getting much lower.
Yeah. Oh, tall
well,
ones.
in one way, but you expect that again when you have healthy systems. Hey, Brent, you have healthy systems and dysfunctional systems. Eventually, the healthy system makes this clash, and there's going to be, and the clash is going to be like, this is just too ridiculous. It's like being raised by an alcoholic. Your whole life you blame yourself. All the your brothers and sisters blame themselves for the craziness of the house, and then you realize maybe your dad's an alcoholic. Oh no. My dad's not an alcoholic. Well, do you ever remember a beer bottle not being on the coffee table? Well, no. Well, isn't that an alcoholic? Yeah. Once you give a person back their reality, they can't go back into the sandbox and pretend. And I think that's what it's an enjoyment for me to watch, is like watching Joe from the very beginning. Not you, Joe, but Joe.
Yeah, the other Joe.
Joe, James, Joe. You know who I'm talking about. But at the day, watching Dave, and I'm watching other people now who are coming online, and I'm starting to see not just on our kind of connected networks, but other networks getting it. And that's what you're looking for. It's not that we have the corner market on, we know what's right. We're looking for the attitude and the idea of, this is just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's that's how you get your reality back. That's how you pull a system out of insanity, or as Young said, or sorry, not Carl. Yeah, it was a Carl Jung. Mass has, what's going to be the trouble in society is going to be a mass psychosis. But it's not going to be like an earthquake or global warming. It's going to be mass psychosis where everyone believes the same thing. And if you just ask any questions that would be relevant questions to help people get factual data back, the person's going to emotionally react to it. That's not the people we're interested in. You don't convince somebody, like if David, when he used to be a police officer and he's on the street and he's just hearing BS, and he knows the guy did it, or girl did it. And it's amazing how they'll just cling to the very end till they realize they're boxed into a corner before they say, all right, okay, I did it, even though they've lied. On my mom's grave, I promise I would never do something like that. This is all BS. People do it all the time, just on Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And our job isn't to change anybody or fix anybody. Our job is to believe in people. And that's the thing, is people are only, when they come online and they're curious about the topic, they're going to have to go through that Kool-Aid phase where they realize something's just not adding up here. And and they will. They'll get tired of it, because if they're curious enough to want to find one, that's where they're going to get frustrated. If they're just on it because it's interest to them, like every other topic, they're just going to keep going to the interesting entertainment channels. And that's fine. That's what people do.
Brian and Chewy says, Patterson makes the rock throwers look like professional hoaxers. Yeah. That's a good one, Brent. Brent says we need to get the cameraman crew versus Squatch watchers for a LARP off.
Yeah.
And I find some of those pretty humorous. The LARPing videos, because like I said, I was watching one like last week, and I don't remember the name of the channel or anything like that, but it's just this couple. They were walking their dog in Florida. It may have been even in the area that Matt talks about sometimes, the green swamp area, who knows, but it was kind of swampy, and they're walking on this trail with their dog, and the guy's giving the narrative of where they're at and the sounds they're hearing, etc. And then all of a sudden they hear something. I don't know what sound it was supposed to be, whether it was a tree or or something, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God. And then the dog, of course, is reacting to their reaction, but they're acting like the dog is reacting to whatever that they were reacting to. And it's not that at all. It's the dog reacting to them. And they were like, oh my God, we're out of here. And I'm like, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, okay, all right. So you're out there supposedly with the intent to find swamp ape, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it. That's your intent. But the minute you hear a sound, you get scared and you're going to run away.
Run away.
Yeah. And it's like, is that, is that the deal? It's like, that is so funny. It's like, I'm out here finding Bigfoot. Oh, what was that? I'm going to run away. I mean, it's one thing to see one, actually encounter one up close and be scared and want to run away. I get that. But being out there hearing a noise and going, oh my God, that must be Bigfoot, I'm running away. I mean, I don't know. What's
here a while back, a lot of people were saying they were bluff charged by Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So I said, well, did you see the Bigfoot? Well, no, but something big and heavy was coming through the woods at me. And if you didn't see it, why are you saying it's a Bigfoot?
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy from Maine, and he was like, a moose will do that. And you sure don't want one of those things charging at you. And he was talking about in Maine how the woods are so thick, you literally won't see what's coming at you until it's right on you, And I'm like, man, that's pretty thick.
Yeah, Maine is like, I mean, like the biggest percentage of that state is forest, man. It's all pine trees, man.
Most heavily wooded state in the union, I believe.
Yeah, it's most pine trees, man. And yeah, you couldn't, and other things that could become crashing through the woods at you too. Could be a bear. Bears will charge you sometimes. Not around here. I don't worry about the black bears around here. Mostly, I'm cautious of them, of course. But
I'd be real worried about them Leon bears up there in British Columbia. He's got
grizzlies.
Grizzlies, yeah.
Yeah, I am happy that we
can be pretty scary too. Like,
well, I've noticed that even the black bears there are bigger than the ones we have here.
Well, they got to be meaner to compete with the grizzlies.
Yeah.
Down here, I've only seen a black bear in the wild in Oklahoma twice. Both times they made a hasty retreat to get away from me, which is the way I want them to do, but they didn't stick around.
Yeah. It's it's and that's what's that's what's funny. I was bluff charged by Bigfoot. What do you look like? I don't know. I don't see him.
I heard noises. It was coming toward me, so it must have been a bluff charge, and it must have been a Sasquatch.
Could have been a chipmunk.
There was a few years ago where I kept hearing the narration online was, oh, good bluff charge, got bluff charge. I kept saying, for God's sake, if you guys are claiming about being bluff charged, keep your camera on all the time.
Okay.
I mean, imagine having a camera of a Sasquatch bluff charging you and having it filmed. That would be good, solid evidence. It would make people certainly look at it like Nikki's doing her phone.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because look, if they have a primate behavior, right? If they share some behaviors with other primates, which I don't doubt that they probably could share other behaviors. Lots of primates, we all share similar behaviors sometimes. And if it's anything like a gorilla bluff charge, gorillas will very rarely actually come into physical contact with you when they bluff charge you. They will simply bluff charge you and stop. They won't actually make any contact with you or anything. They're just trying to scare you. So I'm thinking if it's similar, then yeah, why not have your camera running, man? If that thing bluff charges you, it's going to stop short.
But and Leon, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, because we don't have animals down here that really bluff charge too much. But isn't the purpose of the bluff charge is that you see them and are scared enough that you want to go away? Is that?
It's a warning, you could say. Yeah, they're checking you out. Like, especially again, animals don't think the way humans think, so they're not saying, "Oh, that's a human" in their head. They don't know what that is. other than is it going to be a threat? The bluff charge is your last warning before the attack, so you listen to it with realistic terms. Like if there's a
Okay.
black bear in an area and a grizzly comes in the area, the grizzly is going to kill every black bear it comes across.
Really?
Every time.
Wow.
Because there's no way it puts up with it at all. And whereas, you know, a black bear, well, you guys have seen black bear on video fighting and grizzlies fighting. You know, it's very rare that when they're fighting each other, they kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because in nature, if you watch them too, they're always like, never making eye contact with the other one. And then all of a sudden they turn and they attack kind of thing. And I don't like, that's the thing. I mean, I've been doing the online system study of the Bigfoot community and a lot of the claims in regards to sightings. I have yet to see any, I guess, markers where Sasquatches are out to hurt anybody. I think pretty much like on Nikki's show there a while back, she had, you know, these pictures of people attacked by bears and cougars. And they're in the hospital bed. If Sasquatches were that aggressively fearful or aggressive, we're going to see that. And you're going to have people say to the doctors, well, what happened? Was it a grizzly bear? Was it a coyote? Was it a wolf? It was a Sasquatch. And there's no way you're going to shut that person up.
Yeah.
Because their whole primal system is going to be engaged into look, I don't give a shit if you believe me or not. My arm's on the floor over there because a Sasquatch pulled it off. It had nothing to do with the grizzly. It had nothing to do with anything else. And that's the other curious part is, at least to me, it's curious, is I think what happens to people is they get so scared they think they're evil. And they're so fearful they think that their life, this is where you get your PTSD from, is that, like Joe, even in your story, when you're going, you know, whoa, like that is, you know, it's going like, what the fuck? It doesn't know what you are, but it's doing the same primal response it's going to do with anything. If it saw a bear, maybe, or something like that, that is taken away its kill from itself. I don't know that there's just too much of this, you know. I'll formulate an idea up here, what I think a Sasquatch is, and put it down on the topic instead of stick with what we know, stick to the facts, and build up. Because up in this woo land up here, the land of wonder, you can make up anything, you know. Imagine where it'll be in 50 years with the stories about Sasquatches. They're going to be all sorts of super duper. I mean, that joke that came around a few months ago was, oh yeah, they lay eggs in their nests, you know, like that'll be a first. No primates ever laid an egg before, as far as I know.
I don't know about any egg-laying primates.
Totally, you know. But
I mean,
unless it's one of those hybrids, you know, that people talk about in the whole Nephilim thing.
Oh, hybrids.
Like well, I mean, down here in the South, we've got sheep squatch and some other weird thing like that. Yeah. But guys, I gotta go. I'm closed up and I'm gonna go home.
All right, my brother.
David.
Good talking to you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Dave.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that I noticed I saw a commercial. I think it was yesterday. I saw a commercial. Even the car companies are getting into this fun Bigfoot stuff because I don't remember what car company it was. One that sells SUVs, obviously, and it was a father and a mom and a kid in a car, and the dad starts talking about what did he call it? Did he call it bear squatch or something like that? And he was talking about the bear squatch, and then the kid's like, what's a bear squatch? And the dad's like, well, it's supposed to be a cross between a bear and a sass. And the wife is like, you know, giving him the eye, and he's like, and he stops, right? Short of saying Sasquatch, you know, bear squatch. And he's like, oh, nothing. It's just I forgot how he put it, but it's basically he was saying how it was ridiculous it's just an imaginary or something. But then the kid doesn't sleep, right? It's because he's thinking about the bear squatch. And I'm like, Jesus, even the commercials are getting in on this now. The car company commercials, you know, bear squatch. But that's the kind of stuff you see, right? The hybrid thing, right? And it's like, I don't even know if biologically, since I can't tell you what a Bigfoot actually is, I can just surmise what it is by what I've seen. But, you know, I doubt you could get a human hybrid from a Sasquatch. So this whole thing, the funny thing, I'm having Sasquatch's baby. I don't think that's possible. Sorry. I just don't think that interspecies breeding, genetically wise, evolutionary wise, yeah, there's been some instances, but mostly it'll end up being sterile if there's any viable offspring whatsoever. You know, it's just like the whole thing about the funny people talking about, well, there's been experiments of trying to cross chimpanzees with humans or gorillas with humans, and it's like, well, that may actually be true. There may have been some crazy people that tried doing that kind of shit, but of course none of it ever came to fruition. You know why? Is because we're too far apart now. Evolutionary wise, we're just too far apart to actually breed with any of the primate species that are related to us.
Well, the good thing is, I only have to wait 3 more months till she has a baby.
Right.
If she has a baby, and even if it doesn't happen to keep living, we'll have a 50% body of a Sasquatch DNA test.
Kid comes out all hairy looking.
Yeah. And the really good thing is you can tune into my show tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mountain for The Path to Flesh and Blood. I'll be having Kevin Harder on, and we're going to be going over exactly everything you're just now talking about in terms that are more understandable. And I had him really kind of tone down some of the scientific stuff to help the lay person understand. So I hope I can get him to stick to that.
Yeah.
We had like a 2-hour meeting yesterday just to go over everything. And he likes to really get involved in some of the details. Yeah. But it's going to be a good show. And we're going to talk about hybridity and species and a lot of stuff. Leon's going to come too, so he can be help lighten up things a little bit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that show. Nikki. Because it should be really interesting. Evolution is pretty, the theory of evolution is pretty complicated. And, I'm not familiar with all of the terms and etc. And, I know the basic definition of what evolution is. But when it comes down to the allele frequencies and mutations and this and how this happened, it's a little confusing sometimes to me, but the best I can do is keep trying to study it and to understand these things. But I do understand. Now I know there's people out there that are gonna be like, well, horses can breed with a donkey and you come out with a mule. And well, yeah, you can come out with a mule, but mules are always sterile. So, and it just goes to show you that also that those two species, horses and donkeys, even though they're two different species, they're not that far apart. They're still close enough to each other where there is interbreeding is possible, but it's not going to come up with a viable offspring that can carry on. You're never going to have two mules that mate with each other and come up with just a mule species, that type of thing. It's like, for example, dogs, canids. You can take our dogs, Canis familiaris. They cannot breed with some of the African species of wild dogs. Dogs can still breed with wolves, and you can get a hybridization there. But like there's several, and I can't remember the names of them all, but there's several different species of wild dogs in Africa that they could not breed with a another canid like a wolf or with a domestic breed like our Canis familiaris, because they're just even though they're still in the same line, they're still canines. The species are just too far apart to even interbreed with, you know. So this whole thing about DNA, that's another thing I don't accept about this whole, oh, we've traced back the mitochondrial DNA to a human female, but no, you did not, because it's not possible. I do not think it's possible for humans to interbreed with what is essentially not human, or at least it's not. I don't see, now I'm making statements that I can't back up, so I don't want to do that because I don't know. I don't
And
think.
I don't want to.
Let me put
I
it
don't
that
want to
way.
say anything because I'm going to cover it on my show,
Yeah.
so I don't want to go into.
I'm not going to go into it too much further either.
I have
your show,
way too many talking points to go over.
yeah. So, but we'll see, right? I've never heard, and there's never been any historical evidence of anybody really having a baby from a Sasquatch. So,
well, Patrick Vaughn saw one being born, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was like, what was that now? Was that almost 2 years ago now? Or is that last year? Or yeah.
They didn't go get any blood samples from the birth or anything? Like, you think there's a rich trove of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I get you, Nikki. I feel those vibes here in Canada that you're putting out into my office here.
Let's not talk too much more about
it. I get you.
Yeah, no,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
But
okay,
yeah,
so
but some of that.
I gotta get going here because.
Yeah, we're gonna land this plane. We've been on for about 2 hours and 12 minutes now, which is a lot longer than I thought this was going to go for, but it did. And I'm glad. I was happy. Yeah, so, but thanks for popping on. And you, Nikki, thank you. And I am looking forward to that show. I think it's going to be really interesting. I like Kevin. I think he's pretty well versed in the whole DNA thing. So, and I appreciate anybody that knows that kind of shit, because I am not really familiar with, I mean, I know the concept and all that stuff, but I'm not real familiar with DNA. And
I've been reading, I had to go back and read the Relic Hominoid Inquiry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then I had to read his essay in regards to that and the Ketchum study. And then I had to go back and read a little bit of Haskell Hart's research paper as well, because they go hand in hand, all of those. And to form, we'll see how it all turns out.
I'm sure it's going to turn out pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's going to turn out pretty cool. Yeah. So, Jerry says that black bears habituate with people, grizzlies do not. And yeah, I mean, there is that. I mean, black bears seem to be more used to people. I don't ever want to come up against a grizzly, and I'm glad we don't have grizzlies here in New York. Black bears are big enough, and they can be scary enough at times. Although, like I said, the few black bears that I've actually seen in the wild, they had no interest in me, and that's a good thing. And Donald did bring up, he said, well, get between a sow and her cubs. Well, yeah, I mean, no bear, you want to do that. So, and yeah, I'm very, very, if I see a bear like that one that Sally and I saw in the meadow that didn't really pay attention, I was looking to see if there were any cubs around, because I didn't know whether it was a male or female bear just by looking at it. But I think the females tend to be bigger than the males, but I had no idea whether it was a male or female. And so I was looking for cubs to make sure that, okay, I'm not in between this one and cubs or anything, right? Because, but that goes with just about any animal, I think, they're very protective of their offspring, man. So whether it's a bear, whether it's coyotes, whether it's a wolf, whether it's whatever, they're going to be protective of their offspring. I mean, think about blue jays, man. Blue jays will attack your ass if you get too close to their nest. And that's just a small bird. And, they'll try to rip you a new one, man. So any animal's dangerous with offspring. So
I saw a woodpecker this morning.
What's that?
I said I saw a woodpecker this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should have recorded. Very small one in the bush, in the cactus.
You should have recorded it. And
I didn't record it. I gave my phone to my daughter because I was busy doing some other stuff. But so I just have pictures of it inside the cactus.
I was wondering if it was making any noise. You could have been like, "That's Bigfoot knocking."
It was. I kept hearing a ticking. It was like,
it's Bigfoot knocking on a cactus.
Like that, and we're like, what is that? Where is it coming from? And it was so small, but it was inside. It was
making a big noise though, huh?
Yeah, it was. And we knew it was close, but I couldn't believe he was so close to us inside there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, you guys better look out for rattlesnakes this morning, because my kids volunteered to help do a path this morning on the mountain, a trail.
Yeah.
And for volunteer hours and stuff. So I took them up there, and I'm like, oh yeah, the snakes are going to be coming out to get that heat, the morning, sun. So you guys better watch out, because they were literally on the mountain making trails. And yeah, they'll never do it again. She called me about halfway through. Mom, I can't do this anymore.
Really? Yeah.
She goes, I'm having a heart attack. I can't do it. I go, are you okay? She goes, I'm okay, but I didn't bring my inhaler and I'm climbing a mountain.
Yeah, that could be a.
She's not used to climbing. It was
a weird one.
It was right. It was.
Yeah. Donald, I don't know if Pat believes that or not. I've never heard him say it, but there's no evidence of it. Bigfoot using fire and everything. And the last comment here that I'll put up is Jerry says grizzlies and polar bears can mate. Yeah, they can, which is weird to me. Although grizzlies and from what I understand, grizzlies and polar bears are fairly close to each other, species wise. So that makes sense. And that would make for a very large, rather dangerous bear. Because if you consider the danger, grizzlies are dangerous. Polar bears are very dangerous. So you combine the two and you've got like just a roided up bear that's just mad at the world, probably. I don't know. But anyway, so thank you guys for coming on, helping me through this show. There's lots of funny shit out there, folks. And I think just by pointing out the ridiculous, I think that's a good thing for us to do, to help combat some of it, and just say, look, there is a real side to this research and it's over here. And then there's just the funny and ridiculous stuff. And that's this right here. And I think that's some of the things that we should be doing when we have a few moments and we're not actually out in the field trying to find the real stuff. Then, during our free time away from that, we can be looking at this going, yeah, it's ridiculous. Let's all laugh at the funny stuff. And so I hope you guys in chat had a good time. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope everybody has a good Saturday. And, like I say, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff. And we will see you from the forest eventually. All right. Goodbye, everybody.